So the general form for a quadratic function says f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We're kind of familiar with that form because of the quadratic formula back when we were solving quadratic equations. So, not any huge surprises there. But for graphing, we really would prefer to have it in that vertex form where it says ax minus h squared plus k, because then we know where the vertex is, we know the stretch and shrink and all of that. And it's easier to graph that way, okay? And to find the vertex. But they don't always give it to us in that form. So in the last video, we had an equation that we graphed that started out like this. And remember, we were just picking numbers and trying to see what they did. And it took us a while before we found the ones where the vertex was and the curving of the parabola was. So if we had it in this form, it would be much easier because we could identify the vertex. Well, we have a technique for that, and it's called completing the square. Now, we've done completing the square before. This time, it's just a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We're only going to work on the right side of the equation, okay? Because we want to keep this the left side f of x or y. All right. And here's what we do. We take the terms with x squared and x, and we kind of set them off by themselves. The minus 2, the constant, we're just going to put it down there, okay? Now, one advantage to my example is the leading coefficient here is 1, and that's going to make this problem easier to do. I'm going to do another example like this one and then in another video, and then I'll show you one where the leading coefficient is at 1. So what you do, completing the square, we've done this in the past, you take the coefficient on the x term, -4, divide it by 2, that's -2, square it, that's 4. So you're taking the b, you're dividing it by 2, and you're squaring it. That gets you that number that will complete the square. And in this case, it's 4. So you're going to add 4. That's not new. That's what we've done in the past. But because we're on the same side of the equation, and we're not going to add to both sides, we're going to stay on the right-hand side, you can't just add a 4 because you feel like adding a 4. You can, but you have to counteract it by subtracting 4 out here, okay? So my green positive 4 here and my negative 4 here add up to 0. So you didn't change the equation, okay? That's important. All right, now we can do it in the form that we like. And we can write x, it'll be -2. You have to think the square root of that 4 squared. If you square that out, you'll get x squared minus 4x plus 4, great. And then -6. So we're combining those two constants there outside the parentheses. Now I know what the vertex is. The vertex is at 2, -6, and I know the axis of symmetry, that's x equals 2. Okay, so that tells me how to graph it and gives me some heads up on that. I think that's it for this video.